Hello and welcome. I am your host, Elizibar, and this is Fire and Ice #1. Now, I just watched Fire and Ice like maybe a year ago for the third or fourth time. I enjoy that movie a lot, but it's not one of those movies I go back to and I think to myself, boy, I'm going to watch it every time it comes on TV. Not that it ever comes on TV, but it should because it's a good movie. Really beautifully animated. If you don't know, yeah, let's stop for a second and do a little backstory. So, if you don't know, Fire and Ice is a fantasy film from the early 80s, directed and animated by Ralph Bakshi. He collaborated with Frank Frazetta, which means there's a lot of beautiful landscapes and beautiful and cool characters. Like the princess is beautiful, prehistoric Batman is cool looking. Larn is like a pretty stereotypical hero dude. In fact, let's just open the book up where he shows up. Oh, and somehow my book got dinged. Like, look at that. I don't remember being crushed when I bought it, but it must have been because all it's done is like sit on my desk. So that little crush right there and this little bend right there, not my fault. I ain't accepting blame for that. Anyway, there's Larn. He looks cool, right? Okay. Whew. Backstory again. So it's set in a fantasy world where everybody in the world is caught in the middle. One side, you've got ice. To the other side, you've got fire. Ice is big glaciers and is all scary. Fire's got a volcano and lava. And everybody else is kind of stuck in the middle, living trapped in there. In fact, that's what we start this book with. With these young hunters, like, I don't know, 12 or something, going out on their little training trip with the hunt master dude and Larn. And they're like, well, if, things are inevitable, if we're trapped here between, these two extremes that are going to go to war, then what's the point of living? So we're immediately confronted with the reality of their existence, how they have to live, the fire and the ice, the dichotomy of their life, that kind of stuff. It's a great way to start this off and introduce things to us, the readers, in case we weren't familiar, without just taking a whole bunch of pages and doing like a text dump. Here it's an interrogatory, and that's usually a much better way to explain a setting to somebody, as opposed to just being like, yo, here's 3 pages, here's an essay, go read it. Now, things go bad for them on their trip because they come under attack by these little warrior dudes. And, yeah, as you're reading this, it kind of spoiled this. Like, when you flip this over, open right here, right, you get this thing. And really, this probably should have been on, like, the left bottom panel of a page as opposed to the right bottom panel on a 2-page spread as opposed to being on the left side. That feels wrong. That feels wrong because you've totally spoiled this splash right here. I'm saying that wrong. This splash spoils that surprise, and you don't want that to happen. This needs to happen, and it makes you go, "Oh man, I can't wait to turn the page over." And you flip to this. That's a bad construction right there. Makes me wonder if it was supposed to be written that way, with like little single-page ads, but Dynamite loves to do these 2-page ads for their own books. Because think about it. You could have this right here, an ad. You flip it over, you have an ad, and you've got this thing right there waiting for you. Like that would have worked. Or you have both ads on the left page and both these pages on the right page. You would have the same number of pages, same number of ads, or same number of ad pages. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. That felt off to me. But otherwise, the book looks pretty good, doesn't it? The line works great. It feels kind of painted. I don't know if the process actually is painting or what, but it feels kind of painted. This feels like it could be like a Frazetta painting, just done in sequence. Like, I like it. I like it a lot. We touch base with a lot of characters. Fantasy Batman is here. We check out Necron up there in the frozen north. And of course, it wouldn't be Fire and Ice or pretty much any Frazetta work without beautiful, scantily clad women doing scantily clad women stuff. Like, that's one of the selling points of the movie. If you've never seen Fire and Ice, or I guess if you're not familiar with Ralph Bakshi's animation from Lord of the Rings onward, everything is rotoscoped. It's beautiful. He shot actors moving around, and then he painted the cells on top. And that gives the animation a beautiful life and a beautiful style. And of course, this is like a Frazetta property, so you got a beautiful style, very fluid, very real feeling, and the women are kind of half naked because it's a Frazetta thing. This was great. I had a ton of fun reading this. We're not going to get super in depth on like analyzing the plot in this issue, but Lauren gets kidnapped. There's going to be a sacrifice. There's chaos and trouble. Necron is screaming up in the north. Screaming? Scheming? He's probably screaming too, but he's also scheming up in the north. And it's all around just a good time. Feels like a good setup story for the movie. Which I have to imagine that's what this is, because this feels just like it's supposed to be a prequel. It reads like one. And if it is, it's doing a good job of being a prequel. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye bye.